Hi, I'm Michelle McFadden-Loomis. I am the Business Development Advisor at the Regional Biz Support Network. I say I'm the good four-letter F word. I am your free business support person that helps you with your productivity, your people management, your profitability, and all things related to business for established business owners. And with that said, I have, if you have ever heard the presenter Subi speak, you will know he is a wealth of knowledge in many, many things when it comes to tech and AI. Subi was one of my guest panelists at the AI conference last October in Old College. We've done a few collaborations since. And when I was thinking about, gee, how do small businesses not get hacked in this world where we have our passwords safe? The first guy I reached out to was, yeah, Rebecca, you were on the panel too. Um, the first guy I reached out to is say, Subi, do you know anything about cybersecurity? And he said, well, I only did it for Google. So, there's that. So, Subi, thank you so much for being here for Red Deer Polytechnic today and sharing your wealth of information. I'm just going to hand the microphone over to you.
Awesome. Yeah. Hi, I'm Subi. I I've worked in the IT industry for almost 18 years now, from the time I had hair on my head till now. Uh, and and I have been like the first generation data scientist, evolved into software solutions architect, and I take a deep passion in cybersecurity. I've done a postgraduate certification from UT Austin on that. I have a master's from UFA and an MBA from Texas A&M, and I ran startups and companies. I've worked for one small correction. I did cybersecurity not for Google but for Dell. But my background has been overtly on software and tech. Now, coming to cybersecurity for non-tech business owners, the main thing is you get hacked every day, but you just don't know. Your information is mined every day. It's gone to AI companies. It has gone to places where you don't want your information to be, but you just it's like, suppose you lose 1 cent from your account today. You probably won't even realize that 1 cent has been moved. Now imagine millions of users losing 1 cent. Suddenly there is a breach of value. But if you lose 1 cent every day, you won't notice unless it has been several years of breach. So today's agenda is to not talk about cybersecurity in details, like what happens and stuff like that. Those technical mumbo jumbo, we can keep it aside for geeks like us. But today's agenda would be how to spot scams, sample framework on what behavioral approach you can do, what's an easy way to think, how to protect yourself, uh, what are the everyday risks, and then some easy fixes, some behavioral changes that you can do to fix yourself, and then a quick first response, like if it happens, like what should you do? And I want today to kind of be like, you develop some simple habits as you go back. When you're using an AI tool, you're a little bit more cautious. I understand, you look at an email and you gain this sixth sense of like, maybe I shouldn't click on that link. Take a skeptic approach on how you deal with your data or your everyday business. And then I use like the 3 V's, for protecting yourself. It's validate, the second V is validate, and the third V is validate. So validate, validate, validate. This is a 3 V principle of protecting yourself. And always remember, humans came first, technology came later. So always make sure that you're connected from a human to human basis instead of just letting AI do all the work. Because if really AI was that smart, it wouldn't have been artificial, right? So always remember this. Artificial intelligence is naturally stupid. Okay? So you got to remember that and keep that in mind. So now we will quickly go and do this. Like I wanted to do this for a bigger audience, so you can do this on your spare time. Like it's a quick poll. Just like an email has suddenly turned up in your account and said your password was in one of the data breaches. Have you faced that? A link which looked slightly off, a Nigerian prince called, I need you to transfer some of my money and stuff like that. You know, somebody called you and said like, hey, I am stuck. Can you give me $50? PayPal it and I'll pay you back. Or a staff in your agency or in your business who has just written this wonderful email by taking your information, your client information, into a free AI tool. So even if you have said to one, even if you have said yes to one, this is something of use to you. And thanks to Michelle for organizing this, because this will be almost 73% of Canadian small businesses have already had one cyber incident. And we are a country which are run by small businesses. They are our spine. I call them the spine of the Canadian economy. 60% of the owners, they actually think like, why would I get hacked? Like I am a small wool diaper manufacturer in central Alberta. Why would I get hacked? Well, you are actually a target, because this myth that we are small to bother with is not is it's a myth. Almost 704 million were lost to fraud in Canada in 2025. Like that 1 cent from here and there. $704 million. And when a big company comes in and says, like a Walmart says, I've lost 35 million or 40 million or something like that, their their resilience is a little bit more than a Canadian small business. A Canadian small business runs on community partnerships, on selling things to a very thin margin markets. So these kind of losses can sometimes be a make or break for a business. But the good news is there is something called a CIA triad, not the guys in the South, but it's confidentiality, integrity, and availability. This is called the CIA triad. It's a very basic thing that we just need to keep in mind. First thing, keep private things private. You know, my my mom used to tell me this, like, Subi, private things private. So that surprisingly we don't do it. Surprisingly, we have a SharePoint lying somewhere that we shared with somebody about several years ago, or maybe a friend of ours during college that we were in some kind of a three Greek alphabet group, delta, pi, theta, alpha, whatever that was. We shared our passwords with that guy, and those things come back to bite. So keep your private things private. Only the right people should see your data. Only the right people should have access to your card numbers. Only the right staff members should have access to the right files. Okay. The modus operandi is one small leak. This has happened in the past in bigger operations. A pump that was connected to the internet that never got upgraded, the system was never checked. That pump became the entry point for a whole hack. The second thing is keep it correct, right? You should need to have um, a correct information in place. So whatever your information you're getting, check it. Make sure that the invoices, the number on the invoices doesn't have any scramble values. The PDFs that you're receiving are from a source of authenticity, a source that you trust. And then availability, like you should always have backups, and that backup should be air gapped. Like today, during the internet age, we somehow don't even feel like we can live without internet. Like I was driving from towards Radium, and there were miles where there was no internet. And suddenly me and my wife realized that how much we are dependent on internet. We started to have conversations, deep conversations, about like life, because Otherwise, my wife would have been in Instagram. I would have listened to some music, and I would be driving. But we don't know how much connected we are. We don't know how many accounts we have. So today, if I ask this question, how many subscriptions do you think you have? Which credit card that subscription is getting paid from? Which credit card your bill is getting paid from? A lot of people are unable to answer those questions, and that is one of the entries of ransomware and outages. Something called digital arrest happens from there. So make sure always have a paper trail. There is nothing wrong in writing down your where your accounts are, keeping an offline, air gapped, secure, vaulted backup. There is nothing bad anymore. Like, no matter whatever people say, like, oh, we have the best encrypted, like 32 countries are coming together, all these things, collaboration. No, air gapped. Like, think apocalypse will happen, and the zombies would come, and you would kind of rebuild the earth. How would you do that? Is exactly how you treat your data. So CIA triad: confidentiality, integrity, and availability. Memorize this, and please make sure that you keep your right records to the right place, you keep an air gapped backup, and do not receive emails from anybody that is not supposed to send you. 5 common ways trouble gets in. Trouble is like Dracula. Okay, trouble cannot get in unless you invite it into the door, but it does knock. It knocks and it asks, can I come in? So a lot of times, what happens is hackers are not out of the Jason Bourne movies. They're not like these cool guys who are walking down the street, black hoodie, some big black screen. No, they're common people. People like me are sitting there in front of the desks, and they're trying to do these things, but they will knock. Phishing is the most common way that you get hacked. So you got this email from somebody. Michelle McFadden sent you an email like, hey, I'm sending you this link. This has all the information about the 2027 biz bites that I'm going to organize. Please click on it urgently. You know, so hang on. Why would Michelle say, please click on it urgently? Right? Like, these are some of the things that you need to be careful about. Phishing is where links are provided, where you click and a malware gets downloaded from there. This is how Dracula knocks. Weak passwords, dog's name, friend's birthday, kid's name, kid's first school, first love, all these things do not work. You always have to have proper passwords, which are not a phrase, but passwords, like real serious passwords, alphanumeric. Um, then you need to kind of understand about 3 things, which are very common nowadays as technology has advanced. Ransomware, which is kind of, it locks your browser. So if you're trying to download something or look at something, always go to trusted websites. Right? A free PDF here, or a free movie download from somewhere, can create problems. There was a reason that torrent was banned, because it was an excellent source of some excellent malwares in the world. Um, Poisoned tools. So your software or your phone, needs to be updated all the time. We need to update the phone. Means your software needs to be updated, your apps needs to be updated. But turning on that auto update sometimes is not feasible, because your phone slows down and something like that. But make sure your operating system is always up to date, because it provides fixes and it can track malwares. And do not install any app that you don't know about. Yes, Michelle.
Sorry, Subi. Rebecca had a question. With phishing links, if you just copy the link and paste it into a document and see what the link is called, would that still allow them to hack in? Or as long as you don't go to the link, you're okay?
A very good question. So it depends on what that link is. So suppose it's a QR code, that you are now putting it into your file, right? It can just be an information collector. But if it's a URL link, if you put it in your Word document and you want to look at it and you don't click on it, you don't do anything with it, then it is not that risky. But my point is, like, if why would we do that if we are not sure? Like if you've gotten an email where the link is right there and you can look at the link and read through the link, what is the need to kind of copy it? Because when you're copying it, if you've accidentally clicked the link, what happens? And then if it's a small QR code or something like that that goes into your system and it's a Word document and somebody with curiosity looks at, oh, this is a QR code in a secure file, let me see what this is, takes the phone, scans the QR code, the phone becomes vulnerable at that point of time. The point is not getting hacked, the point is becoming vulnerable. The more vulnerable you are, the more chances of attacks that will happen on you. So I would advise against it. Although, if you ask me a technical question and say, is it really risky? I would say, from a technical standpoint, no. Now, AI mistakes. So this actually tracks to this one. So this we do a lot of time. We take an URL from our internal link, put it into an AI. Everybody of us does that. Everybody of us, have this subscription to Claude. Claude is this new big boy on the block, and we are putting in all the information there. So, how many of you have turned off history in Claude? Very few. Very few. If you go to the settings of Claude, you will see there is one link and the button is on. It says, do you allow me to take your data and train myself? And we go like, yes, you know, build the multi-billion-dollar enterprise with all my information and sell my information back to me for $1 million. I am so proud of it. So that is that is kind of, I would advise you don't do it with your business. What you do with your personal data and your personal information, that is up to you. But from a business standpoint, these are vulnerabilities. When you're taking your information into a public pool of data, Anthropic is very secured, so is OpenAI. They put a lot of protocols into security. We shouldn't be dissing them for that, because they do put in. But we never know where the pool comes in. Like, we did this mistake. I did this mistake when I had run my company and I used a tool called Mercury to track my CRM calls and phone calls and everything. And later on, that company went bankrupt, right? So did the database that the company had. All my data was in cloud. And although I was able to retrieve my data because I had cloud backup, but who knows where that database ended up being? So one URL that you had booked in, that URL, if it is no longer there, what happens? So be very careful. I would say, like, if it is not necessary, why do it? So, like, for example, here, this is an email that is coming from RBC. It even has RBC's name in it. And it says, our system flagged an issue with your recent supplier payment. Click here to verify your account now, right? This requires awareness. Before you click onto the link, always remember 3 V's. Right? Validate, validate, validate. Is this really from RBC? How do you validate? Right? The first thing you need to check is the sender's address. Have you ever received from rbc-secure-verify.net a promising big company, one of the largest and one of the most prestigious banks in the world, will seldom have a customer portal which is not .com? It's like RBC. If somebody has rbc.com as a domain, that would be RBC. So that is your first check mark. The second thing is manufactured urgency. This is a very common thread. Like I said, Michelle saying, this is BizByte, click it now. And like, no now, please. Like, There is no urgency. There's nothing that urgent that I need to click immediately. Especially this happens with CRA. You will get a bill which says like, oh, you have a tax, this, you're being audited, you need to pay, and here is a link, and the link goes to cra.cg.ca, not gc.ca, but cra.cg.ca. And we, in the age of Instagram, have already become partially dyslexic. We ignore to read a thing. There was an experiment done that every third letter was changed in a paragraph, and kids were asked to read the paragraph. 100% of the kids were able to read it. They had initially first 2-3 lines of difficulty, but then they were like, bam, they were very clear about like what they were trying to read. So cra.cg.ca, you would feel like it's cra.gc.ca. And you click it, it will open, you'll have the full link, it has your username, password. That is a fake thing. It goes in, it shows pay here, you go and pay, money gone. Spelling is a very important thing, not anymore with AI that has come in, because spellings are now getting auto-corrected because AI fixes it, but it used to be. There are still some, I call them classical scammers who haven't evolved into scammer 2.0 or scammer 3.0. So the 1.0 scammers, you can track them through spelling. And one of the things that I put here on this one is this one. So there are some areas like flagged. It says FLAGED instead of FLAGGED. I mean, RBC won't make that mistake. Like, I would like to believe that if somebody is sending out an email from that big of a bank, such prestigious company, will not do that. A teller sending you an email will not make that mistake. You know, if it wants your bank details, like honestly, nobody, nobody has any business with your banking business. That's period. Like if anybody asks you for your bank account details, you shouldn't share with it. Not over a phone call, not over an email, not even in person. Like it is it and in 2026, banking is in such a good stage that you are in full control. You'll have two-factor authentication. You've got all these things on your phone. You can handle it yourself. Nobody needs to call you and say like, hello, Mr. Subi, I am calling from, you know, scamming Bank United and I need your bank account number. So please keep this. The second thing is ransomware. This is extremely important. This happens to the best of the people. I am a cybersecurity professional. I faced a ransomware in 2025. And I'm offering this guidance and suggestions, but I faced ransomware. So even my cybersecurity professor, he faced ransomware. So what happens through ransomware? This doesn't only happen uh, through clicks or stuff. This happens when you are actually continuously consuming internet traffic. So what sites you visit, what things you do, what things you see, even your Netflix account, you should change Netflix password every now and then. How many of us have changed the Netflix password in the last 3 months? Ooh, see, some behaviors we don't even think that we should. The second thing is, how many of us nowadays have started to use sign in with your Google instead? So you are making making vulnerabilities to one portal. You are trusting Google to be the single point of failure. Means like to be the single protector, guardian angel for you. For now, so far, Google has shown excellent results, but I still am a little apprehensive. So I say like for serious stuff, like for example, if you are into a Coursera link, or I do this all the time, like GitHub, for example, is a code repository that we use. And I got my ransomware downloaded from GitHub. You know what happened? I cloned a repository and I downloaded it. I ran through my local host on a browser, and suddenly I saw my whole browser getting hacked. So these are called honeypot instances within the code. So whatever websites you're using, even reliable websites like GitHub, Netflix, all these things may have honeypot data coming from here and there. And then, if you have, um, you know, uh, like if you visit some iffy websites, that is definitely not permitted. And it doesn't help if you go into the incognito mode. Like one of my students once said, but I use incognito mode. No, it doesn't. Incognito is not incognito, my friend. So be very careful of the sites that you visit, especially for your business. Like I said, your personal life is your personal life, but when you're in a, that's why I always say it is okay to block traffic in your office web sites. It's okay to block webmail, office website. It's okay. These standards work. These because if you're a large scale organization, you have so much of traffic. You can buy tools for monitoring every single port that you have. You can spend millions in cybersecurity, and yet you'll have one or two hacks here and there. But if you're a small organization which is running on a tight budget, I think prevention is better than cure for small businesses. So keep an offline backup. Do not rush to pay. Disconnect the machine. The good old pull the plug still works. You know, restore clean files from your backup and carry on. This is extremely important. Even trusted tools carry risk. This is something that happened the day I joined RDP. I came here in August 2025, and Shai Hulud was a virus that started spreading through a very popular library called NPM. NPM is something that we use to build websites. And we as developers, we have seen all of the hacking incidents that we have faced, or all of the incidents that happened to us has happened because we have downloaded something from GitHub, or we have downloaded something through an online package manager, and that is pretty common. But that's why even trusted tools that we use every day, even a Python program lying somewhere in the internet may have honeypot virus data. That's why 3 V's: validate, validate, validate. Are you really sure what you're going to do? Have you validated? Have you again validated? And have you validated? So that is actually a segue to talk about AI, you know, and these are, everybody knows this, but they somehow ignore it. Um, what you can paste in AI can leave. Whatever you paste, whatever your your kid's birthday, your anniversary, your bank account details, your credit card statement, anything that you paste leaves. No matter what they talk about sovereignty, no matter what they talk about residency, no matter what people say, there is a saying in California when we used to work, which is called elephant tusk. Elephant tusk is like how you manage 99.5% integrity. What about the 0.5%? Well, it's a statistical error. That is called elephant tusk. Means we show 100% availability, but actually whatever you can paste, the data that you paste, it is not always 100% secure. Nobody can give you 100% secure, data protection in an AI system. So if you are adopting AI, make sure you adopt the prestigious ones. Make sure you take Claude, OpenAI, those kind of systems, or invest in building your custom-made systems. Sometimes you really don't need that 70 billion parameter or 707 trillion billion parameter models that is being fed to you for $25 a month. You really don't need it. If you want to run a chatbot, a 4 billion model might be more than sufficient for you. If you want to run some reports, a 7 billion model might be more than sufficient for you, and that might even run in your laptop, or maybe a small server machine that you install in your system, which is protected, air-gapped, offline. So if you really want to invest in something, invest in offline AI, and that is going to help you long term. AI can be used to hack you as well. So if you have agents running your business, that means automatically sending emails and stuff like that. Make sure that the models, the core, the connections, the links, they're always secure. Invest time in that. Um, these AI tools like Hermes, OpenClaw, they actually take real actions. Even Claude, they're taking real actions. Real actions have real consequences. So be very careful before it's as an AI professional, my first point is always that security is more important than technology. So, do you really need that level of sophistication? Or can an intern right out of college do that work for you for 3 months? So, either $2,000 here or $2,000 in AI, I would always prescribe you spend $2,000 in a young student that is coming out of college because it will be much more secured. Uh, Tantrums are different thing, but much more secured from a technology side of things. Uh, validate, and then again validate. So ask where your data goes. Whatever tools you're buying, grill the vendor. Read the terms and agreements before saying I agree. It's extremely important. And here you can use AI. Maybe use that, the copy the whole terms and agreements, put it into an AI, say, and give me some pitfalls here. And do an experiment today. Like if you have Facebook account, go back, take the copy screenshot of the terms and conditions of Facebook and put it into chat GPT and say like, so summarize this. You'll be surprised. Uh, uh, like tell me how it was. Or even like some of like chat GPT's terms and conditions. Take it, put it into chat GPT and say like, do a critical analysis of these terms and conditions. And you'll get surprised. There are a few things here and there where the onus is on you for security, which is always the case, but we need to do that. Check what access you're giving. There should be certain files which needs to be protected and needs to be protected through an air gap. Try it in a corner first. This is something that I am telling every single business that comes to me for some advice is that don't start a trial in your business without trying it in a lab. Find AI labs who can test the tools, give you reports, and maybe use some of the government funding to do that. Like maybe apply for a grant and test your tool. I want to use this tool for my business. That tool, even if it is certified by somebody, when you're implementing it, you need to know how much of the onus lies with you. And that you need to test in some labs, some secure labs. I'm trying to build one here at Red Deer Polytechnic. We are already like almost like we are a quarter way through it, and we are already starting to help some small businesses doing that. Uh, you know, Nice little plug-in here. Sorry about that. But favorite tools with track record. Like this is why I keep on saying Google is Google for a reason. Because they have proven themselves year over year, ages over ages, conditions over conditions to be effective. So when you are signing in using Google account, Google is actually putting its name behind it. So maybe when you're trying something, you would like a browser add-on that has come in, you know, uh, I would be careful. Like maybe do it with a safe environment first, then trying it out. That is extremely important. Yeah, so start with your logins. Make sure your logins are, passphrases. Never use a password. Turn on MFA. Like I said, validate, and validate. So MFA is extremely important. And MFA is not a 2FA. MFA is an MFA. One of the M should be something that you and only you can access. Maybe a grid code, maybe something, maybe a paper, maybe something like if you are in an authenticator app, the authenticator app also, you can invest in the security keys now. The security keys that are offline, that are random number generators. that you can keep it with yourself. It's not expensive. It's available in Amazon. You can use that because that gives you a biometric access to all your apps, and I think that's fantastic. Um, Back up your data. Follow a 3-to-1, 3 copies, 2 kinds of storage, one offline, one offsite. Extremely important. I'll repeat this: 3 copies of data, 2 different types of storage, one offline, one on-site. Extremely important. Keep your software updated. There is a free Canadian service called CIRA, Canadian Shield. Try that. It's an excellent tool. It's not like popularized, like people don't talk that much, like everybody talks about Palo Alto, networks and all those kind of things. We Canadians silently build good products but never get appreciated enough. Canadian Shield is one such gold mine. you know um, Try that. It blocks a tremendous number of websites, and so your intern has no business in going into www.ihaveanidea.com while doing the work. So Canadian Shield does all those things. It's free and it's a good one. um, I think training is extremely important, and it starts with discussions. So have a discussion with your team, behavioral teams and stuff, and make sure that if some incident happens, let them report. Now, sometimes we get scared that I will lose my job, I'll lose my livelihood if I raise an alarm. So, but that doesn't help anybody. Mistakes are made because we are humans and we will make mistakes. Even seasoned professionals. I had a friend, Benzi, he says he's the best cybersecurity professional I have ever seen. He works in Tel Aviv, and excellent person. He told me once, if you are not hacked, then you are not the best because the hackers ignored you. So the best of the person gets hacked. So common people like us, we are very much vulnerable, susceptible to these things. So let people raise the alarm. You can. I saw a question from Rebecca. I'll wait for that and then I'll finish the rest. Good.
Rebecca, feel free to unmute and ask your question.
Yeah, I just, as you were talking, I went to that CIRA website on my phone and got the app. Is that something you can put onto laptops and computers? Like at my business, should I be putting like it's an app on your phone, but what about for like laptops and computers? Is it an app? Is it?
Yeah, if you go to the Canadian Shield website, it tells you different steps. They also have helpline and other stuff for that.
Okay.
I can send you some more information on that as well.
Okay, thank you.
So before we conclude, I'll just say, like, a simple plan. You can do a lot in small budget. Okay, like, see, the challenge is a lot of the small business owners come to me and say, I am the IT Subi. I am the IT. And I said, okay, then what you do is utilize free tools that are given by the Canadian government. There are a lot of free tools available, and let's get some small group together and then collaborate. Like, one of the thing is, like, okay, a lot of people say that I cannot afford to lose close for a week or something like that, but if there are 20 businesses in central Alberta, right, and they form a cybersecurity consortium, they can afford one tool, right? Now, one of the challenges, of course, you will not, like, probably you have a competitor and then the competitor, there is non-compete and stuff like that. Those are sometimes the roadblocks. But I know for sure that 5 businesses completely non-connected to each other, right, can come together. Say a realtor, a plumber, an online educator. 3 people come in and they can form an IT department of their own by pulling the resources, because the security that will be provided to you would be the same. It's not that Palantir is coming to your door and giving you one product, and then going to Michelle's door and giving you another product, which is vividly different. No, it is not. Um, so there are some of the things, like when we talk about budget, pooling, and this is something that I've been saying from my first day when I went to Olds College for that thing, is pooling of resources is very important for us. Pooling of resources will help us do it in a low cost. Um, the simple thing to fall back on, if isolate, change your passwords. Please change every now and then your password. Call for help. There is also the Canadian Center for Cybersecurity. They provide advice. Please call. Please reach out to us. We have done a little bit of work here and there. Whatever limited knowledge we have, we are happy to help. Report it. There is a Canadian Anti-Fraud Center. If you have faced an incident, report it. Creating a database of these incidents is extremely important. Restore from backup and recover and notify means like create reports, keep tab of it. So this week, I want you guys to kind of do few things. Turn on MFA for your email login for you and your business. Set up automatic backups offline, 3 to 1. Remember, 3 to 1. 3 backups, 1 offline, 1 online, and 1 offsite. Switch on automatic updates. Please update your operating system. This month, give the team a password manager. There should be a format, an alphanumeric, something random that you kind of control. Talk phishing, please. And I don't know how the pronunciation is different from phishing and phishing. Both, but do the PH, discuss the PH on that. And then check a backup, Google how to back up data, how to keep it offline, saved and stored, and so on. Vet new tools before you connect them. Make sure that you reach out to few people who can give you some neutral advice. Even the best of tools may not be the most effective tools for you. And you might be unnecessarily paying more money to solve a problem that you don't need. So, you can actually get some certification done. A SOC 2 compliance or a Cybersecure Canada certification. Do that. It is worth investing your time. You will learn a lot, and you will make your business, better and safer. So yeah, this slide is available for you. You can actually go and look into some links that I've given. My email is available. My phone number is also here. There is a MITRE attacks framework website where you can go. It highlights all different kinds of worms and stuff like that. But I would advise you don't go there because it kind of scares you. It's not that scary. Like it is like it's kind of like not a doomsday. But you can go to the CPA Canada website. It's a very good website for SOC 2 guidance. These are all free. You don't have to pay any consultant any money to get this information, right? If this is what a consultant is offering, no, don't get them. Just save your money for the actual work. Maximize the free resources and then let the consultant come in and join the dots. So yeah, your first move, turn on MFA and install a culture called validate, 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 and validate in your life. That is the thing. That's all from my end. I'll stop elaborating now.
That was amazing and like really essential, down to earth information that I believe every business owner needs to know. From how to protect your passwords, your stuff, what you put in online and what you don't. Very, very, it's exactly what I had hoped for cybersecurity for the non-tech business owners, because we're all very good. Rebecca's very good at athletics. It's amazing. But again, perhaps not an IT professional. So Courtney as well with her storage company. And I know I learned a lot today as well. So the people watching this recording, if you have a fellow business owner that you care about, that you care about enough to protect, please share this link with them. Because even 20 minutes of their time might save their business from being hacked, from blowing up, from a worm or a virus coming into their business, for a data breach. All of those things, even the small businesses need to protect ourselves from. So Subi, I can't thank you enough for spending time with us again today. And if you're interested in chatting with Subi, picking his brain is a phenomenal experience. I highly recommend a phone call about all the things he knows about AI and cybersecurity and IT and beyond. He's an amazing resource in Central Alberta. And if you would like to engage in what we're calling at RBSN a business growth checkup, where if you're interested in growing your business and want to know what your next steps are, if you want to book I say good for that F word, FREE, free, conversation with me, and bring me something that you want to work on in your business, and you can walk away with 3 action plans on how to do that at no cost. And RBSN is funded by the town of Olds, Central Alberta First, and the government of Alberta. So you don't have to pay for these services or the biz bites. You have to invest your time. And so hopefully today, ladies who joined us, thank you for your patience with our technical difficulties this morning. Oh my goodness, you have an AI training webinar and your IT doesn't work. But thank you for your patience. And it was lovely seeing you again, Subi. Have a wonderful day. I'll sign off. And don't forget, RBSN has these biz bites every month. So in the email that I will send you will include the next 2 or 3 biz bites that you don't want to miss as well. All right, thanks everybody. Have a wonderful day. And remember, validate, validate, validate.
Thank you.
Bye for now.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.